Welcome to our lab where, with a group of collaborators, we at the Medical Device Interoperability Program at Mass General Hospital will be showcasing ideas and prototypes for how we as a nation may improve the quality of care for Ebola patients and their caregivers. So what we're going to show today will be a workflow all the way from the monitoring of individuals who may have been exposed to Ebola to those who show signs of sickness or illness from Ebola, to their care in the hospital, all the way to their discharge. And we're going to show ways in which different manufacturers' products and information can all be combined together through open interfaces to do what no single manufacturer can do on their own, because the power of the community is much stronger than that of a single product. Our group came together only 20 days ago to start on this project, and only 2 days ago we joined together in our Medical Device Interoperability Lab to perform what is essentially a hackathon in real time to show you what you will see in this demonstration.
What you see here is a camera-based system for measuring patient vital signs without actually touching that system, the patient. So we can actually measure the patient's heart rate, respiration rate and temperature without touching the patient or even coming very close to the patient.
So part of Ebola is monitoring people out in the community. For that we need wireless vital sign monitoring, and as part of this lab we've integrated it into graphical software that lets clinicians see a huge amount of people in a very easy way to analyze.
And today with us we have one of our teleoperated robots. We want to use this robot in various use cases to help with Ebola response. For example, healthcare providers can use the robot to deliver supplies to a patient's room that's in isolation.
What we have here is a diagnostic page for our Open Ice data fabric. A lot of hospital IT departments and biomedical departments really wish that they had one place to look and see all of the data from the devices that's flowing around on their hospital networks. What we've built here is a way of visualizing this. So we see not only what patients are connected, but also the devices that are connected. This is updated live as devices are plugged and played, as they're added and removed.
Well, my name is Jim Serene, and I'm from Smiths Medical, and we brought with us our Medfusion hospital syringe pump. And I've hooked it up to a software program to remotely control it, so we can allow nurses to operate the pump from outside the containment area where a patient might be present with Ebola.
What we'd like to demonstrate today is using our SDC open protocol, which is a published protocol that can be utilized by other device manufacturers or information system vendors to allow true interoperability to not only share data, but also to allow potential control of the device using open standards that are not proprietary.
We've developed a respiratory volume monitor, the Expiron, the company's respiratory motion. This product monitors the lungs in an objective fashion and provides information to the caregivers to allow them to take care of their patients from outside of the room with much better certainty as to the patient's status.
So we developed technology which converts the data into a matrix and generates images which everybody can understand. For instance, we have the color radar weather image of the condition. We see that the patient begins, they have mild virus syndrome with changes in their liver and fever, and then it progresses over time as it evolves. Now the bacteria have penetrated the intestine to produce a sepsis picture. The sepsis evolves over time. The patient eventually recovers, and we see some residual virus in the urine and in the sweat.
And what I'd like to talk to you about now is a system that combines a measurement technology, the Expiron respiratory volume monitor, and the Smiths Medfusion syringe pump that delivers medication on a standardized basis. And what this system does is it actually allows for the cutoff of medication that is seen to have an alteration in breathing so that the patient won't have respiratory failure or get into trouble with opioid-induced respiratory depression.
Today we're demonstrating remote control of a patient ventilator. The scenario that we're walking through here is that the patient is isolated in a patient isolation room. They have potentially a case of Ebola, and the respiratory therapist wants to change the ventilator settings that's being delivered to that patient. But They don't want to have to enter the room, be potentially contaminated. So with this device demonstration that we're showing today, the therapist can monitor the patient using the patient monitor outside of the room and control the ventilator settings outside the room as well with this device that's remotely connected to the ventilator inside the patient room.
So as a patient's actually in the isolation room, if there needs to be minor changes to device settings or information, currently they have to put on their protective gear and go into the room. Utilizing a system such as this, you would actually be able to go in and actually modify some of the device settings. So here we have an example of an infusion pump, and that infusion pump will then allow you to actually go in and actually control the pump to actually change the setting.
So why did we come together? Well, there are many challenges related to preparedness and the care of patients exposed to Ebola virus or suffering the effects from Ebola. And many different aspects have to be addressed, from social to political to numerous other facets. But we're focusing only on a small part of the problem. We're looking at how we could improve the quality of monitoring and detection of patients in quarantine or pre-quarantine for screening, and especially the care of patients in the intensive care unit. If we could avoid entering the patient's room unnecessarily, we could reduce the exposure of healthcare personnel unnecessarily to Ebola virus and other infectious diseases, and also we could more rapidly respond to patient needs, because it can take anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes to properly put on the protective gear before entering the patient's room, and an equally long time to properly remove the gear.